December 24, 2012. I am one day past my due date. As I walk into the medical office, there's only one clerk working. The doctor immediately calls me back. I go into the room and undress from the waist down. Yay, one more person I don't know looking at my vagina. I really hope I'm at least dilated. Are you ready for this baby to come out? She asks. I think to myself, no, I love having a 7-pound kid putting pressure on my hips every single day. I also love not getting any sleep because I'm so uncomfortable. Stupid. People ask the dumbest questions. Of course I am, I say to her. She's trying to make conversation while she has her fingers inside of me. Just shut up and check my cervix. Luckily, you're 4 centimeters dilated. I'm just going to strip the membranes around your cervix, and that should help you go into labor. I'm going to schedule your induction for December 26th at 8 a.m. You'll need to be at the hospital at 5 a.m. I go home, make sure I have everything ready to go to the hospital. Extra clothes, car seat in the car, everything is ready. Except me. Here I am in San Diego, a 21-year-old in the Marine Corps, all alone. And it's surprisingly weird for me to say that out loud. Coming from a decently sized family does me no good with my family being all the way in Arizona. Note to self, always use a condom so you don't get pregnant by someone with whom you're not in a serious relationship with. By someone who chose not to be there physically and emotionally for me. I'm not even responsible for myself. How can I be responsible with someone else's life? Physically, I'm ready for this baby to come out. Mentally and emotionally, I am not. I'm terrified of not being a good enough mom. After all, I'm a pretty awesome person. I just don't know if I'm equipped to be a mom yet. I look at my clock. It's exactly 11 p.m. I'm awakened by this excruciating pain, a type of pain that I've never felt before. This pain took over my body completely. My back, my neck, my hips, my stomach. I try to go back to sleep. 9 minutes later, the exact same pain. I figure if I feel it again, I'll call my friends to come get me. Sure enough, 9 minutes later, I experience this back-breaking pain, just as I expected. I'm in labor. I immediately call my 2 friends who are supposed to drive me to the hospital, Micah and Mina. As the phone rings, I rush through every inch of my apartment, trying to make sure I have absolutely everything ready. She answers, hello? Micah, I need you and Mina to come pick me up right now. Are you okay? No, I'm not okay, fool. I'm in labor. I'll be ready by the time you guys get here. Cass, we're not in San Diego. We're in Fontana. What the fuck do you mean you're not in San Diego? Where the fuck is Fontana? Micah, I'm in labor, but it's fine. I guess I'll just drive my damn self. It's by LA, don't worry. I'm gonna call Stacy to come pick you up. I couldn't deal with her, so I just called my mom who lives in Arizona. I was crying and telling her that my friends drove 2 hours away. She explained to me maybe they didn't know that just because I was scheduled for an induction that I could go into labor before that. Personally, I find that hard to believe. Mom, I really have to pee. Mika, don't go pee or you'll have that baby in the toilet. I hung up on her, went to the bathroom, and told her I lost service. Finally, Micah called me back and told me that our coworker Stacy was going to come pick me up. I got off the phone with her and called Stacy to give her directions to my apartment. It took her somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes to get to my house. Meanwhile, I paced through my apartment on the phone with my mom. Finally, Stacy picked me up. On top of it taking her forever to get to my house, she got on the freeway going the opposite way. Instead of getting on the 5 South, she got on the 5 North. 10 minutes into the drive is when she realized it. At last, we make it to Balboa. We go into the emergency room, and I tell one of the nurses that I'm in labor. As I'm in the middle of a contraction, she asks me if I'm sure. Am I sure I'm in labor? All I want is an epidural. And of course, The nurse that's pushing me thinks we're on some kind of nature walk and takes her sweet-ass time. Stacy and I go into the check-in room, where I'm given the most hideous hospital gown to put on. Who knows how many people have worn this thing? As I'm getting undressed, I feel something coming out of me. I know I didn't pee myself. I think I would know. I look down at my underwear to see what looks like a bloody booger, and I'm instantly terrified. What's happening to me? I tell the nurse, and she tells me not to worry. It's just my mucus plug. In this moment, I realize I should be more emotionally prepared. Maybe I should have read a psych book to tell me how I should be feeling, or that what I'm feeling is okay. But I wonder if it's wrong that I feel some resentment for this unborn baby, for all the ways that my life is going to change. It is wrong. She didn't ask to be made. I made her. But I'm nervous and scared. I move to the room in which I will deliver my baby. My blood drawn for the anesthesiologist, get a fetal heart monitor put on my belly, and get an IV for fluids in my hand. My contractions are worse than ever. I should have gone to those stupid Lamaze classes. Every time I get a contraction, I hold my breath. Then I have some doctor or nurse getting at me, telling me I need to breathe. It's not about you, one said. Excuse me? Are you in labor right now? No. So right now it is still about me. But my body is not my own, so it's not about me. The pain was so unbearable I started throwing up. And I hadn't eaten since 7 p.m., so all I was throwing up was stomach acid. I tried to bite my own hand just to feel the pain somewhere else, but I ended up biting Stacy, and I didn't even eat. Girl, you just bit me, she says. Are you sure? As she shows me the teeth marks laughing, she says, well, I didn't bite myself. My bad, man. And please don't make fun of me for farting. Finally, the anesthesiologist entered the room. I've never wanted a ginormous needle in my back so badly. I was laying on my side, and he tells me he's going to insert this needle into my back, and that if I feel shocks in my legs, I should let him know. Well, that's exactly what I felt. Shock after shock in my legs. It felt like I was continuously sticking my toes in a light socket. He pulled the needle out and said that if I kept feeling those shocks, I wasn't going to be able to get the epidural. Can't I just sit up? You can do it that way, can't you? He said yes, and I don't think I've ever sat up so quickly in my life. After I sat up, it was like slow motion. I was facing away from him, hugging a pillow, trying my best not to move. But as soon as he put the needle in my back, I could feel my baby's head coming out. I can feel her coming out. Those nurses flipped me on my back so fast. The burning sensation that I feel through my entire body is overwhelming. I feel everything, but they keep yelling at me to push. Breathe in and push for 10 to 15 seconds, which doesn't really seem like a long time, but when you're pushing something the size of a watermelon out of the size of something that's the size of the grape, it seems like forever. It's just like taking the biggest shit of your life. It burns so bad. This is why I wanted an epidural. I can literally feel my vagina tearing. One last big push, the doctor yells at me. So that's what I do. Push as hard as I possibly could. She's out. 2:44 Christmas morning, my baby's born. I feel so relieved. All of the pain completely stopped. But I'm too exhausted. I physically can't hold my baby. As they cleaned her off, the pain began again. Shots. Numbing shots. In my vagina. Those bad boys hurt more than pushing her out. 9 stitches later, I'm all sewn up, and my stomach feels like a waterbed. One of the nurses hands me my baby. I'm a mom. Most people would think that as soon as a woman becomes pregnant, she would realize that she's no longer only responsible for herself. For me, it wasn't until that nurse put her in my arms. In that moment, I realized I'm no longer this single free woman. I have a million thoughts running through my mind as I'm first holding her. But the one that really stands out the most is, why do all newborns look like potatoes? Thank you.